Let's think happy.
Think happy thoughts, that's what you gotta do. Think happy thoughts, and the smile will come back to you.
Happy Thursday to everyone. It is time for our Think Happy Thoughts this week on what I believe is May 7th. Excited. Today is, if you're running around and you know the church culture, you know today's the National Day of Prayer. So we'll be praying for everyone, be praying for you as the viewers, be praying for us, the church. A good day to reflect and just talk to God today about all the stuff that's on your heart, whether it be the quarantine, whether it be Corona, whether it be whatever it is. It is time. Today's the day of prayer, so please do that. But I'm very happy. I'm excited. Today it's Webisode number 8. We are on our 8th Webisode of Happy Thought. We have thought happy 8 weeks in a row now. I believe I started this just a week or two into the quarantine, so very exciting, very happy stuff. Trying very desperately to remain happy, and I enjoy being able to do these. But today I bring you more excellence from the world of cinema in our devotional here as we gather around for the Happy Thought. Another one of my favorite movies, and another movie really that is just a pop culture phenomenon for both the old and the young. I was in high school when it came out and have watched it probably over 100 times since then. But there's a particular scene that I've edited for everyone that we're going to watch right now. One of the favorite things, and then I'll get back into the Word of God. We'll see what Jesus has to say about his story and the story of what we're going to watch, and we'll tie it all up on today's Happy Thought.
Got some boys over there behind you. Got you in a little crossfire. How you like that? Hey, guys, come on, think of something fast, would ya? What? Hey, what? No. What? Huh? No. What are you doing? Look at that. Yeah. Get some, boy. No! Hurry! No! Oh! See anything like that before?
Hell, I ain't never even heard of anything like that. Nothing. Where is he?
Down by the creek, walking on water.
Well, let's hope he's got another miracle up his sleeve. If I know Ringo, he's headed straight for us. If they were my brothers, I'd want revenge too.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
Doc, sorry to be in bed. What the hell are you doing this for anyway?
Wide Up is my friend.
Hell, I got lots of friends.
I don't.
I'm going to talk a little bit about it, so if you're, spoiler alert here, if you don't know, if you haven't seen the movie and you're still wanting to not be surprised, maybe not listening to this part, but I just love the movie. Oh, I remember it came out and I was in high school and watched it in the movie theater, I believe, and just love the movie so much. Love the actors there; they were at their best. But it gives the story of Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, and of course Wyatt Earp's brothers, and a town called Tombstone. Earlier scene in the movie that I'm not showing is the shootout, the OK Corral. Everybody always talks about that as far as a Western history goes, but really just the best Western I've ever seen. That sounds like a hotel chain. The best Western film that I've ever watched, my favorite at least. It gives the story of Wyatt Earp, who was a peace officer in several places during his lifetime, and he got tired of doing that, and he wanted to go to a place called Tombstone, a little town on the up and up. It was becoming a place that could possibly be a boom town, and Wyatt Earp came there with his family looking to just kind of live fat and sassy, make some money off the people there, gambling and doing different things there. But he got there, and there was a gang, you would call them, by the name of the Cowboys, and led by Curly Bill and Johnny Ringo. Oh, Johnny Ringo. Man, that guy was great. But Curly Bill led the Cowboys, and the Cowboys had kind of come in and tried to take rule of this town, rule really everywhere, and they were a big gang, and they were doing a lot of bad stuff. But Wyatt Earp finally, with his brothers, they said, we're not going to let this happen to the town. They make Wyatt's brother a sheriff, and then after things go bad in town, Wyatt's brother, she kind of brings the family in, deputizes everybody, including Doc Holliday, and somehow. And if you don't know, Doc Holliday, typically not a nice guy, known as a nice guy. He's kind of a thief, and he cheated at cards and all the other stuff. But anyway, God, he was played so cool in this movie. But so you have this story, and of course the Cowboys, they don't want this to happen, and they get into this big gunfight, the shootout, the OK Corral, and it ends up that the Cowboys basically get kicked out of town. They're not allowed to carry guns in town anymore. And while they're doing this one night, they think, Wyatt Earp and his family think that the Cowboys have been run away. And here in the middle of a lightning storm, not only do they show up and shoot them while they're playing pool through the windows, not caring about whether it was women or children or whatever was in there, attack them, shoot them through the windows, actually killed the younger of Wyatt's brothers. The older of Wyatt's brothers will lose use of his arm because of this attack. But so Wyatt basically now sends his brother that's living away with the wives and the children and whoever else is with them, sent them away. And then he went on a rampage where he said, just like we talk about, that he's justice, and he's riding on a white horse, he's coming back, which is mentioned, like Jesus says in the Apocalypse, where he's riding a horse, death comes with him, all that kind of stuff that you've heard is so awesome to say in Westerns and professional wrestling or whatever else you want to watch it in. But the point being here that Wyatt went out, and with just a few guys, including his good friend Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp set forth to track down all the Cowboys, and they did. And he killed a lot of them. They got rid of a lot of them. And then comes the scene in which you saw of where Wyatt, they were basically in between places, camps where they were going to try to kill the Cowboys. Wyatt gets caught in this crossfire with Curly Bill himself, and you saw what happens there. And Wyatt just unbelievably, he knows his buddies, the rest of his friends, the curly-headed guy there. He says, you better think of something, as if, and Wyatt takes it upon himself to stand up in the middle of this gunfight, walk into the creek. I don't know whether he knew that would make Curly Bill just decide to stop and come out there with him, so it's more of a one-on-one fight. But however it did, it worked. And of course, he kills Curly Bill, and then standing in the river, starts shooting the rest of all of his guys. And then Doc Holliday and the other guys finally get up, and they're able to come into the river and kind of end this shootout. And, resting a little bit because he's been very, very ill. And Wyatt's not there. And the guy asks, have you ever seen anything like that? And he says, the one guy says, no, I haven't even heard of anything like that. And they said, So where is Wyatt? And Doc Holliday in this great lines that, he's down in the creek, probably walking on water. Another reference to Jesus, and being the, and then of course they get going down there, and the scene I really wanted was that one, and then this here where they asked him, why are you doing this, Doc? Doc is dying of tuberculosis. He is bad off. He wasn't supposed to be there. The scenes here and ahead, coming up, he's actually, they take him someplace just to let him rest and possibly die. He's that bad off. But you have this little gang, and they say, why are you doing this, Doc? You should be resting. You should be sitting somewhere, and resting. Why are you doing this? And he says that, well, it's because Wyatt's my friend. And the other gentleman says, well, I got lots of friends. And Doc says, no. He says, Wyatt Earp is my only friend. He says, I don't have one. And it just got me thinking, we have sometimes we feel like everything is stacked against us. Sometimes we feel like it's the people who are seem to be evil on this planet, or seem to be doing bad, or maybe it's just the people on Facebook or your world that because we live so much on Facebook right now because of this quarantine. We live our lives in this social media place already, and then you add to the fact that you're not able to leave your house to a lot of this. Maybe it's the people that are the trolls, or the people on Facebook that are always trying to stir up arguments and stuff, or the ones who are telling and forwarding, things that are, profane, or things that are, meant to just stir up, or lies even that are meant to kind of just trap people into their way of thinking. But it seems sometimes like the bad is very much winning, much like it did in this scene with Wyatt Earp as fighting the Cowboys. But it seems like sometimes that we live in a world where the bad things keep happening, the evil keep becoming victorious. And then, so I came to the scripture, and it's Psalm 94, and I love this scripture. I've talked about it before in my life a lot of times. 94 was the year I graduated high school, so even then this was like, I'm going to use whatever the 1994. I'm going to use 94 as the scripture that I've loved and read and studied a lot. So, well, here it says, it's Psalm 94. I'm going to start talking at 5, and we'll go all the way to 15. So here it is. This is from the Message Bible, Psalm 94, 5 through 15. They walk all over your people, God, exploit and abuse your precious people. They take out anyone who gets in their way. If they can't use them, they kill them. They think God isn't looking. Jacob's God is out to lunch. Let me just say, God is never out to lunch. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't slumber. He's never out of sight. He's never out of reach. And he certainly is not out to lunch. And this is the answer to that. Well, think again, you idiots. You fools, how long before you get smart? And of course, this is the talking about the wicked, calling the wicked idiots and fools, and telling them, do you think that the ear maker doesn't hear, that the eye shaper doesn't see? Do you think the trainer of nations doesn't correct, the teacher of Adam doesn't know? God knows all right. He knows your stupidity. He sees your shallowness. How blessed the man you train, God, the woman you instruct in your word, providing a circle of quiet within a clamor of evil. While a jail is being built for the wicked, God will never walk away from his people. Never desert his precious people. Rest assured that justice, much like Wyatt Earp, is on its way, and every good heart will be put right. It's this day, thinking this of where we've seen a lot of times, like evil is winning, while the bad things will really start to pile up, where maybe the persecution that you're feeling from whatever it is, it's because you're a Christian, or because you're a lady, or because you're a man, or whatever it is, whether you're a child or too young, or your color, or whatever it is, know this, that the judgment, the justice is coming. We have to trust. We trust in God. The Bible says some may trust in horses, others may trust in chariots, but we will trust in the name of our God. But just to this fact of looking out and saying, God is not out to lunch. Listen to what he said. Do you think the ear maker doesn't hear? God formed our ears for us. He's the one who gave them to us. So if people are saying bad stuff, and we're hearing it, you can rest assured that he's hearing it too. The eye shaper doesn't see the question there. God made our eyes. If we can see it, he can see it. He's the maker, the shaper of our eyes. You think the trainer of nations doesn't correct? The teacher of Adam doesn't know? God knows all right. So sometimes we have to rest in the fact, and I don't want to think that we're wishing evil upon anybody, even evildoers. You know, Jesus teaches us to return evil with good, and I believe that wholeheartedly. But God will provide justice, whether it's justice in this life or justice in the next, justice in heaven. God is not so far away that he doesn't know what's happening with us. We may feel like we're trapped in a bit of a crossfire. We may feel like things are never going to work out. We may think that there's no way we're going to get out of this situation without getting shot. You know, we're in that crossfire. Trust me, we all have a friend. And if it's only one friend, that one friend is God himself. He made us. He knows us better than anything. There's nothing that can be heard by our ears or seen by our eyes that he doesn't already hear or see. He knows us. He loves us. He created us. Thank you so much. Remember that today, that we might only have one friend, but that friend, you know, he's walking on water. That friend is turning water into wine. That friend we have is the one who created this. He created all of us, and he definitely is on our side. Stay good. Think happy. Thank you so much. I can't wait till next week.
When you're alone and feeling sad and you don't know what to do, when you can't sleep and feel lonely, here's just what you do. Think happy thoughts, that's what you gotta do. Think happy thoughts,